Okay, hi. By my clock, it's 3 o'clock, and I don't like to just dead air when we're starting, but I'm going to give everybody a chance to start. So instead of dead air, I am going to try and put this while we're waiting, and it'll just take me a few uh, seconds, really, or 30 seconds, I guess, to get it applied, and we'll see. You guys can watch what happens while I do my little spiel. Make sure I get my crow's feet and then do the other eye. I suppose I could leave the other eye. Any experts want to tell me some advice on doing this, I certainly will take it. But I know that I've done this before when we first got it, and it's effective. Anyway, so welcome to the training today. Get started. This will be recorded, so you guys can see this in playback. And I think that's it. So we've got a great lineup. I got a bunch of help today from a bunch of ladies that are going to help me. We've got Stacy, Christina, Jenny, Amy, and Tim. Assuming we can get Tim away from the babies for a moment, and Sarah and Brittany. And so I'll just get into kind of what I wanted to talk about to kick this off. There's something that happened in my career as I went through. I spent time, all the time, asking the question, am I getting better? How am I doing? And am I evolving and learning? And I turned it into like one of my main interview questions when I started to try to hire people I was hiring leaders and asking, have you spent any time? Are you better than you think your team or you are better than you were 30 days ago, 6 months ago, a year ago? And they, everybody who wants a job would go, oh, of course, yes, yes, yes. I said, great. How do you know? And, what have you done proactively to try to make that happen? And, that's where you started to separate the real leaders from the leaders. That they knew that answer. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew exactly how they evolved themselves as a person and their team as a person, as a team, and they could easily answer the was I getting better? Are we getting better? Answer for themselves. And so it really applies to this. It's one of the reasons we're here today. The people who are joining and are watching this, they're seeking out the answer of, am I getting better? How can I be better? And it's one of the things that when I started working this for Roxy, I had to really start from ground zero and have a big organization to start. So it was a little bit scary, of course, right off the gate. But I knew that I had information. I had listened enough to Roxy to know where to go look. And I asked some really dumb questions in a few chats. I think one of the SMB chats, I asked really dumb questions. I go, oops, that's a dumb question. I'll just Google that, never mind. And so it was one of those where you continue to learn and you continue to ask questions, but where am I finding my answers? I guess would be the thing that I guess I wanted to start with as we kick this discussion off. And time will be a little bit tight, but we're going to try to make sure everybody gets a chance to talk. And at the end, I'll stay on for questions that anybody might have. So again, back to, am I getting better? The first thing that I do when I think about measuring myself, am I getting better, is I wake up in the morning. And it's, you start the day fresh. You have an opportunity every single day to take what I'll call a +1 day, which is I took a step in the right direction that felt like I'm getting better. Whether it's getting my business better, whether it's getting my health better, whether it's getting my relationships better. Am I going to have a +1 day today? And it's kind of the mentality you think about it. And at the end of the day, you can ask yourself, was it a +1 day, a minus day, or a kind of break-even day? And it's okay to have all three of those. And when you're said and done, you want to ask yourself, did I have more +1 days where I did purposely try to get better in whatever my goals might be in my life and my business, etc.? And that's kind of just a simple strategy that I've used throughout my career and my life to try to say, yeah, that was a pretty good day. It's +1, right? And it doesn't, it's not a judgment of how +1 it is. It's not +10. It's, I got something done that accomplished in the right direction. And that's what I'm referring to about, am I getting better in a +1 day? So with that, the first thing that I started doing when I had to really figure out how to run this business is I went to all the training information I could find. So I started with Rockstar Mentors. Inside Rockstar Mentors, it took me a while. I just started looking at posts, and that really wasn't as useful as everything else. But I started digging into the files section and the video section of that group, and I could find that Roxy's put some stuff right in front that talks about like the key files and links for Rockstar Mentors. It tells you, hey, make sure you go sign up at Market Partner Official. You'd be surprised how many people I find aren't in Market Partner Official, and I really think that's an important one to do. The Rockstar Mentors is something that Roxy wants everybody to have access to and share. That is part of Roxy's team for sure. But if you're a market partner working with a leader, they'll have a page as well, and they're stocking it full of information that you can look at and you can read and you can practice. So one of the first things I found was Roxy's daily methods of operation. And it just says, how do I run my business? And one of the video I posted today was relevant to this. It was Roxy doing some training in the Cayman Islands, and one of the things I asked her about was her strength. One of her strengths, and she was describing it as, everybody gets signed up and they're like, okay, I'm going to work my business now. And they go do some training, and there's Facebook Lives all over, and they're doing Facebook Lives all day. And at the end of the day, did they really accomplish one? Was it a +1 day for them? At the end of the day, they may have learned a bunch, probably maybe spent too much time in it. And so the daily method of operation is really telling me, because I'm trying to learn this, it's telling me the things that I do that will enable this business to get better, healthier, and grow. And in that document, there's a bunch of details that then explain to me what they meant, what the CLAM method was. That's probably gonna have to look it up to say what it is, but it's comment, like a post, add a person who posted as a friend, or follow on Instagram, and message the person to introduce yourself. But it's how you do it. It's compliment the post. And she's got examples of there. So you first start network marketing, and you go, okay, I just ask people what things and reach out to people and say, hey, buy my product. And everybody who's been doing this a while is you really don't post about your product. You follow the advice in the groups that we're talking about. And there's a terrific video that talks about sharing Monate with people. And then there's, of course, the resource library and the tools and Market Partner Academy, all on the Monate website. So if you're new to this, please, or you're inviting new people, you really want to jumpstart them with some of those activities. You really want to say, here's the kind of things you do when you start. And don't bury them in just listen and read and things, because they're anxious to start as well. So you got to, like the daily method of operations, you do a little bit from here, a little bit from here, a little bit of Facebook, and things like that to spread it out and make sure that you've got all the motion going on in your business that's going to help grow it. And that's what I've been trying to do. I know that I'm not perfect at it. I am continuing to learn in this every day. I'm definitely had a bunch of +1s trying to get myself prepared to be able to do exactly what we're doing today. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up from my point of view. But please take advantage of everything you can that's available there for you guys today. And that'll probably help you kick off your business and get started in a great way. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Stacy. You might have to unmute, but
I did.
Let's go. I'll mute then. Thanks.
Hi guys. I'm going to get right into it because I know everybody's time is precious, and it's actually, there's quite a few little gems on this call to talk ahead of me, so, or beyond me, so I'm going to get right into it. Erin has asked me to talk about my story and then to touch on some of the personal development things that I find, you know, critical and key and what I like to focus on with my team. So for those of you who don't know me, I am an executive director from Guelph, Ontario, Canada. It's near Toronto. I bought my kit May 22nd, 2017. I was just pregnant with my 4th child at 42 years old. Literally did nothing but waste my entire Smart Start. I was very sick. I was sick all day, every day, to the point where if I drove anywhere, I would have to open the car door to get sick. So I did nothing but disappoint my upline until September, and I started to feel better. And I signed my first 2 market partners, and we both, all 3 of us, sort of started to get to work. And September 2017, I got my first real check from working, and it was 4 figures. So that really sparked me and motivated me. I was from another social selling company. I did fairly well. I was a level 3 with Rodan and Fields. I was doing pretty good, but I never broke $1,000. So I started Monat as a second job, and I'll talk about my timeline and my career a bit later. But basically, after doing Rodan and Fields for 2 years and then seeing a first check that I actually put some effort into Monat, be 4 figures when I had never hit that in 2 years with a significant business, it was very eye-opening to me and very motivating to me. And because of that 4-figure check, I started to work. I made my very first Facebook post October 15th, the day I got that check. I hit Market Mentor the next month in November, you guys. And then in December, I had my baby, December 17th. So I did all this very pregnant with 3 other children at home. I had my baby and I hit Managing Market Mentor in December. Same time. And I got my first 5-figure check January 15th, 2018. And I've continued to do that since that date. I hit Associate Executive Director, April 2018. 7 months of real obsessive work. I'm not going to lie and say I did not work hard, worked my butt off. I was obsessed, and it had become a huge priority in my life because it gave me access to limitless income potential and completely changed my financial trajectory for my entire family for the rest of my life. I'm somewhere around top 5 income earner in Canada, and I have a team of over 11,000 with 2,100-ish market partners and 9,000-ish customers in 2.5 years. Moving along to myself outside of my career, I'm a mom of 4. They range from age 19 to 2. I am a rescue specialist with the Canadian Coast Guard. I work primarily search and rescue. And I sailed away from home for the majority of my career as a rescue specialist and sailor. It would be a schedule of 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or 28 days on, 28 days off. And seeing as I was having my 4th child, this highly motivated me because the mom guilt of leaving the 3 children that I had to pursue my career sailing, which is something I'm very proud of, but what I'm not proud of is the fact that I missed exactly half of my first 3 babies' lives. Half. And that's probably being conservative because when you're a rescue specialist, your income is $24 an hour. With 3 kids without support, it actually left me homeless for 3 years with 3 children in my parents' basement when I wasn't sailing, and that was 2.5 hours away from where my children went to school, where their dad lived, because I couldn't afford to live in the city near Toronto, making the income that I made. So it was either a situation where I paid for food, or that was pretty much it for me. Like going through the Tim Hortons drive-through, I wouldn't be sure if my visa would even process, you know, if they would let me go over the balance, sort of thing. It was really rough for me for a lot of years, and I have to talk about it because, you know, it's not always sunshine and roses for everybody, but this opportunity is potential to change your life regardless of the situation, you know. And don't, like, I was homeless for 3 years, but it didn't mean that necessarily that we had a really bad life. It just meant that it wasn't my dream life, you know. So we made the most of my parents' basement for those 3 years, but, you know, things have changed for me, and I'll continue on with that. Now I could retire. I haven't officially yet, because I get 5 years of leave where I don't have to think about the retirement process, and I can just focus on my family, and that's what I've decided to do. Chad was laid off from December until beginning of March, and I have a daughter in university, and it didn't phase us through Christmas, you guys. It's 5 figures monthly for me now. I drive a Cadillac Escalade. It's our team's rolling trophy that we're really proud of, and there's, I think, 10 of us now. I drive the Cadillac Escalade. We've been to Bermuda, Miami twice, Bahamas twice, Mexico and Nashville. And prior to this, you guys, Chad had never seen a palm tree. And now we've been to all of these places together. We just never had the money. And, you know, we always had other things to spend the money on. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the personal development part. That was just my story for prospects, and this kind of leads in. I'm going to talk a little bit about this exercise that I like to do with people, and then I'll talk about what I find is critical in regards to personal development. So I want everybody to close their eyes. You know, don't feel uncomfortable about it. I just want you to kind of just take all the distractions away. And I want you to try and picture and design the ideal version of yourself. Okay? I want you to really think about, like, what does your ideal woman look like? How does she dress? How does she do her hair? Is she fit? I bet you she's fit. And I bet you she eats really well. You know, I bet you she wears maybe a tailored suit. This is my version of myself that I like to picture. And now, if the person you're picturing in your head is not you, then we have work to do. And that's something that I find most women don't clue into. They don't realize that, you know, we are just on the other side of the dream version of ourselves. It just takes effort. There's no difference between somebody like Victoria Beckham and myself. The only difference is we have different daily habits. Okay? There's no difference between somebody starting out and me. We just have different daily habits. I'm nowhere near the end of my evolution, and it's continuing on. But that's what this business does for us as women, is it really shows us and points us in the correct direction to be better, to try harder. I always say to my team too, I don't want you to be on your deathbed wishing that you had tried harder. You know, don't disappoint yourself. Okay, we're only here once, so it's really time to wake up every day with purpose and intention to make our lives better. Whether it's with our business, or being a mom, or just a woman in general. What is Monat to me? It's time and financial freedom. It's legacy wealth, residual income, and it's pride in my decisions and the decisions leading up to it. So it allows me to be okay with the fact that I always took the hard way. I never took the easy way. I always made tough decisions, and it's all led me here. Okay. So it allows me to have confidence and in myself and in the fact that I haven't always been this person, and I haven't always been proud of the person that I was. Okay, so mindset gems that I really like, that I really need you guys to wrap your head around, and I find very important. This opportunity is a gift. Okay. If you are a prospect watching this, thank the person who sent you and buy the kit. It will change your life if you let it. If a stranger came up to you on the street and said, here's a cash for life ticket, all you have to do is devote 1 hour a day, 5 days a week to cash it. Would you say yes, and would you do it? That's what this is, okay? Drive the fun bus. You guys, if you're looking to, have people come into your circle and have fun with you doing this, you got to drive the fun bus. You have to have fun. That's Kyle Kimbrough, Joey Kimbrough, right? But it's very important. Nobody's going to want to join you if you're not having fun with it. So have fun with it and allow yourself to have this healthy obsession. Be coachable and willing to learn, please, because chances are the more that you watch and the more people that you relate to, the faster you're going to progress and the faster you're going to have success. And then that breeds energy and excitement and momentum. Is 10 years too long to make $1 million? Nope. And you pay for 5 years to go to college, right? So let's take 5 years to do this and potentially change our life, right? Get comfortable being uncomfortable and do not care what other people think. I do not care if somebody comes on and says, oh, I heard that stuff makes your hair fall out, or I don't know, you're a pyramid scheme. It's like, well, we don't care about those people. We care about the people that we love, and we care about the people being positive in our lives. And those negative people aren't contributing to us in a positive way anyway. So don't care about people like that. They're not paying your bills. They're not setting your family up for success. Okay, that's what this does. So be proud of that and don't let anybody get to you. Take responsibility for your own business. This is not your upline's responsibility. And until you get down to learning it yourself, you're going to have a harder time. We always preach to look for things on yourself by yourself before you ask a question. Okay, look in your back office, look in your Facebook groups, and then look online. When you start to take responsibility and you start to be a self-educator, your business will change. Take action fast and learn as you go. You're not going to be an expert at this. And if you don't look back on what you did a year ago and laugh or think, oh my gosh, I'm ridiculous, then you haven't grown. You have to just start and go. Be a self-educator, super important. Set unrealistic goals. Okay, don't be afraid to say, I did a post, I want the Jag, I want the convertible Jag. I know the times are tough, and I know some people may be looking at that thinking, well, holy crap, like the whole world's falling apart and you're talking about a convertible Jag. Well, yeah, I am, because I have big dreams and I'm going after them. And I'm not ashamed to say that. Be confident, be brave, be bold. Learn the compensation plan, okay? Get yourself a rank map and apply strategy and focus with intention to your business. Do not just go about this willy-nilly, okay? Get a rank map and focus on building the structure to your business, and you'll have a quick start and everything will be great.
Hey, Droopy, can you mute your phone? And there's I think someone else needs to mute, but keep an eye on that. So Stacy, are you done? I got distracted.
Yes, that's all I had. Like I had just my notes. I could talk for 45 minutes, like I mean longer than that. So, that's what I had because that's what you asked me to talk about. So
no, that's awesome. Hey,
Well, I hope
that was
people found.
fantastic. Your story was amazing. And I like the idea about driving in your Jag that you're aiming for. And I don't see a problem with anybody trying to aspire to that in these days. So with that, I wanted to hand it off to Christina. And if I can remind everybody to mute, that would be great. Droopy and Deborah, you guys should probably try to mute if you can.
All right, hey guys. Hope you can hear me okay. It's been a long time since I've done a Zoom. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been a little lax in my business lately, but here we are, pushing ourselves to get better. I can't see myself, so I don't know. Can y'all see me? Okay. All right. Just making sure. It's weird. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, just a second. My dogs are being really loud. Boys, go somewhere else. Okay. I am going to talk today about a few tips on social media because I guess before I get into that, let me kind of introduce myself a little bit. For those of you who don't know me, I have been with 1-8 since October of 2014. And my comfort zone is social media. And that is where I have built my business. I was all the way up to executive director, which is one step from the top. Now I'm currently not an executive director because things happen. Business, has its ups and downs. And when you step back like I did, things happen. Your business won't stay there for you if you're not doing the work. So here I am putting the work in, trying to get back up to where I was and beyond. My tips for social media, I just have a few big ones. And let's get started. So number one, social media is a place to build relationships. We're not just there to post and pray or to bug a bunch of people and send hey girl messages, because that's not what we're about. We're not about spamming people and bugging their inboxes all the time about, things that they don't want to hear about. So building relationships, because this is a network marketing company. And in order to build a network marketing company, we need to network. And that just means to build relationships with people and get to know the people that you want to join you and buy from you and things like that. So people, they buy from those that they like, know, and trust. And if you're not building relationships with them, how are they ever going to know you or trust you or even like you very much? They probably won't. So take the time to interact intentionally with people on your social following. Comment on their posts, ask them questions, just engage with them and be genuine and heartfelt and be real, because people can sniff a person who is not genuine from a mile away. So that is one of the biggest things with building relationships, is just to be yourself and be genuine. My tip number 2 is to create original content. This kind of goes along with, liking, knowing, and trusting you. If you only share things on your social that other people have come up with, whether it's videos on TikTok or recipes on, these amazing cookies or whatever, or even like posts about inspiration and things like that. They're all great to share every once in a while, but if you're not putting original content out there, nobody's going to know what your voice is. The only thing they're going to know is the voice of all those things that you're sharing. And you and your personality is going to get lost in all of that. And so it's really important to create original content and be yourself and be genuine. And kind of a subset of that, which is a huge thing that I have trained on and talked to my team about over the years, we have a lot of flash sales with 1-8, like a lot. And it's amazing, and I love every sale that we have. But the huge mistake that I see a lot of people do is they'll take that image that they get in their email and they'll post it up on their Facebook wall, and that's their post about their flash sale. You guys, nobody wants to see corporate images on your Facebook wall or your Instagram feed. Nobody cares. They don't want to see that stuff. They want to see your face, your posts, your pets, your kids, your house, whatever, however you can incorporate yourself into those posts. So if you're a market partner, you know that if we have a flash sale, it's probably going to come out on a Friday morning. So if you have the free time to schedule yourself in 30 minutes after 8 a.m. on a Friday morning to sit down and come up with a couple original posts before you get on with your day, you need to do that. If you don't have the time to do that Friday morning and you have to go to your job like I do, because I do, have a job outside of Monet and I love what I do, what you can do is when you get home from work Friday evening, then you can go and create your content and post, because you don't have to post the minute the sale comes out, and it's just about you want quality over quantity. So it's way better to post something that you came up with if it's 12 hours after the flash sale was announced, over posting something 30 seconds after it was announced if it came from the corporate email, in my opinion. So kind of along the lines of that is also the monthly promotions. We know for the first of the month, we're going to get an email from Stuart. And a lot of times that email from Stuart has, a extra starter kit or, great perks or whatever. So take some time to schedule in yourself on the first of the month. Hey, I know that promotion's probably going to come out. I need to schedule myself 30 minutes to go in my office and pull out all these products that are going to be, in the extra kit, and take some pictures and be unique and creative, the best that you can. Okay, my next tip is about testimonial stories and tutorials. So people need to see results. They want to see that the products are working. You can share shampoo bottles and skincare bottles all you want, but if you don't share the results and the stories, it's not going to do any good. People need to be exposed to something several different times and in several different ways. So, posting someone else's testimonial or posting your testimonial, and then posting stories and tutorials and things like that. All of those, work together ultimately to share what you're trying to get out there. And when it comes to testimonials, it's really important. I'm a little nervous on here, you guys. I don't know if you can tell. It's been a long time since I've done a training. Okay, so with testimonials, there are a ton of Facebook groups out there for skincare and hair care, Monet related groups. Some of those testimonials in those groups, personally, might not resonate with you. You might see a post and you might think, wow, that looks too good to be true. Or the lighting looks a little off and I kind of question it. So maybe I shouldn't post that one on my wall. I'm not saying that anyone is posting questionable testimonials. All I'm saying is if something looks off to you, don't go share it on your wall, because then it's going to look off to other people too. So when you are searching for those testimonies and those stories, make sure it's something that looks real and looks relatable, and it's something that you can stand behind 100%, because you're sharing it and you need to be able to stand behind that. Let's see. And then tutorials are important because you need to show up using the products that you're trying to get other people to use. So whether it's toys, quit. Sorry. They're worse than kids, I swear. Whether it's just quick little things on your Instagram stories or your Facebook stories or whatever, or doing, going live and doing a tutorial, or creating a YouTube channel. I mean, whatever it is, however you want to do it, it's really important to show yourself using the products, because we want other people to use the products. We want everyone to know how much we love using the products, and everyone likes to know tips and tricks and things like that. The aftershave moisturizer is a great primer, and a lot of people don't know that. So go, if you're doing your makeup, use that as your primer and share that with people. It's a great tip you can use. Okay, so my last tip for social media is utilizing stories. I love the Facebook stories, and I use Facebook more than I do Instagram, and that's something that I need to work on myself. So I do refer to Facebook a lot more just because I'm more comfortable with it. But stories are amazing because it tells you who is watching them. And that is incredible to me, because I have several people who will look at every single story I post, but never once comment or like on a post on my Facebook page or my Instagram or whatever. And so I can see who's really paying attention by keeping up with my stories and keeping interacted with those. And then it's also a great way to communicate with people, because you can throw polls in there, you can ask questions in there, you can ask opinions. I've kind of gone from asking major opinions on my main Facebook to asking them in my stories, because it opens up conversation. It's a great excuse to get yourself into someone else's DMs. Which, reversing that too, is you need to take some time when you are on social media and look through other people's stories and interact with other people's stories, because when you comment back on a story, it's going straight to their messages, straight to their private messages, and that opens up a conversation. Your door is right there to talk about whatever you want to, build that relationship with them, and then Monat will come up eventually, because they're going to ask you, what you're doing. They're going to see your stuff, and it'll come up when it's supposed to. It'll come up organically if you're building those relationships and communicating with those people. So, and I love stories too, because you can show a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. You're not going to want to go post on your main page 10 times a day, but I can post 6 cat videos and bunny videos and dog videos and my recipes that I'm cooking, and people like to see it because it's just a quick little thing. But if I'm posting 18 different times on my Facebook wall, they're going to get tired of seeing that in the newsfeed. So it's a really great way to utilize sharing behind the scenes and getting out there in a way that is a little bit more personal even than just sharing on your main wall. And the biggest tip with all of that is just to be yourself, be authentic, and circling around to people buy from who they like, know, and trust. And when you're sharing your life and you're being authentic and you're being real in your stories and on your page, then they're going to learn to like, know, and trust you, and they're going to want to buy and join from you. So that is my tips for social media today. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, that was amazing. Thanks for that. And you said you're not comfortable with that. You should absolutely. I think you've overcome that concern for you. You did amazing. Jenny was going to go next.
Yeah, I'm ready. Hey guys, I am Jenny Sanzo, and I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary. It was actually this month on the 19th. So I've been with Monat for 5 years. And I am going to tell you the single most important thing to my business, and it is so sexy, and I want you to just prepare your hearts because it's so good. Do you want to know the secret to my success? It's consistency. So that's really not that sexy, and it's not that fun, but it is the thing that's going to separate the people who are super successful from the people who are not. So consistency means showing up when you don't want to, when there's a global pandemic and you have no makeup on, you're still showing up and you're doing the do, and you're present on social media, and you're checking in with your customers, and you're checking in with your team. If you try to do this business only when it feels good, it's not going to work. And if I didn't have that mindset and that laser focus and those non-negotiables in my business, I would not be here today doing this Zoom with all of you. And I'm going to just give you a little bit of an idea of the roller coaster of my business so you can appreciate why it's so important. So back when I started, I had a fashion and beauty blog, and I was really excited to have this be a revenue stream on my blog. I was hoping a couple $100 a month. I was going to treat it like an affiliate, and it was going to be awesome. I had no intentions of growing a team, building a business, because to be honest, I didn't do a ton of research. I didn't even know this was a new company till like 2 months in. But I went to my first event in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I got to hear from people who were founders. And I was hearing all these stories about how all these women had changed their lives. And I was so inspired. And I'm also so competitive. So I knew that if they were founders, that I wanted to be a founder too. And I wanted to be up on that stage. So 2 months later, I was 6 months into my business. I hit Market Mentor and became a founder with Monat. And I was like, I got this. I'm on top of the world. I'm good at this. This is going. We're going to just cruise right on through these ranks. And you know what, guys? My business fell apart. Like in the toilet, fell apart. Both of my MMBs, couldn't find them. They had major life stuff going on. And it would have been so easy to quit because I had to start over. But I said, you know what? I'm going to dig my heels in, and I'm going to keep doing the things I've always done and stay consistent and see where that gets me. And I kept chugging along, doing the do every day, ended up getting my rank back, ended up ranking again, becoming a director, and then I cruised all the way through again and had executive director, gosh, over 2 years ago. Actually, 2 years ago this month. Spoiler, I'm no longer an executive director, but I'm still an associate executive director. And the only reason I'm even that is because, again, when things got hard, when things were beyond my control, when my business didn't do what I wanted it to do, I didn't quit. I didn't take my foot off the gas. I didn't stop doing those things every single day. So if you take nothing else away from what I'm talking to you guys about, I'm going to give you the things that I do. But if you take nothing else away from this, it's to discipline your disappointments, which I stole from Connie Sanchez, but it's just so good. You can't tie your activity to how you're feeling or how things are going. It takes a good 30 days to build a habit, and it really takes 90 days of doing something consistently to see results. So just like you wouldn't eat a salad and expect to suddenly be skinny, you can't like follow up with your customers and then be like, okay, we're good for the next 6 months. You need to do those tasks every day, show up every day. And it doesn't have to be all day, every day. You don't have to run yourself into the ground, but you do have to do a little bit every single day. And to touch on what Christina said, a very easy way to do that is in your stories on social media. So I'm more Instagram than Facebook, so we're different right there, but I also love stories because it is so easy. There's zero editing, zero prep. I talk about the stupidest things, and they tend to get the most traction. So people follow me for my nonsense and me like talking about how I self-injured somewhere, but then they end up seeing things about my business too. I get more DMs from cold market through my Instagram stories than any other thing that I do, and they take the least amount of work. So if you are overthinking social media and freaking yourself out about how you have to have a perfect grid and look like a model and take these beautifully edited photos and make really pretty story slides for every time we have a sale, you really don't have to do that. You just have to show up as yourself. And to echo Christina again, be somebody that they know, like, and trust, and they're going to want to do business with you. So the things that I do and that I teach my team to do consistently, if you're taking notes, these are the things you're going to want to write down. They are not rocket science. So there's 6 key areas that I tell my people to focus on and make sure that you're not missing one of these areas. And if you feel like your business is starting to struggle, like evaluate which one of these needs more of your attention. The first one is probably what should take up the most of your time, and that's prospecting. Like we said earlier in this call, this is network marketing. So you actually have to network, you have to meet new people. So that should be something that you're focusing on intentionally, is adding new contacts to your contact list. And you can do that, well, when you're not locked in your homes, you can do that in real life. Right now, you can do that on social media. No excuse. We're all scrolling on our phones and bored out of our minds. So make some new friends on the internet. The other thing that you need to do, obviously you want to be getting new VIP customers and growing your customer base, but you want to love on your customers that you have now, guys. They're your VIPs. They're very important people. You want to make them feel like very important people. So one thing that I'm doing right now, I'm calling it a wellness check, which sounds a little bit morbid, but I am going through every single customer and I'm just checking in and being like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you doing with all this craziness going on? Like, how are the kids? Are you having a homeschool? And I'm just having like real life, normal human being conversations. I am not talking about shampoo. I'm not asking, have you tried 30-Second Miracle? I'm just saying, are you okay? How you doing? Because I think everybody really needs that right now. And I think it will go a long way. So make sure you're taking really good care of your VIPs and that checking in on your current customers and making sure that they're loving their products and that if they need anything, reminding them about their flagship. So I know my people get flagship reminders. I still shoot them a text and say, just so you know, this is what's coming. Let me know if you have questions. Just make sure that they're well taken care of. Same thing with your market partners. Obviously, we're focused on growing a team, right? So it's like you're trying to check in the boxes to get to that next rank, but sometimes you lose sight of the people that you have and making sure that their cups are being filled and they have what they need and that they're plugged into the appropriate places to get whatever they need for their business. So make sure you're checking in with them and not just checking in at the end of the month to make sure that they're active. I'm not gonna, like, there's no judgment. We've all fallen victim to that, but make sure that you are reaching out, and if you're coaching them and working with them, make sure they're meeting you halfway, but also make sure you're consistently checking in with your people. That's something else I'm doing right now, is the wellness checks that I'm doing for my VIP customers. I'm doing them for my team too. Like, how you doing? Are you overwhelmed? Do you want to kill your children yet? Like, those sort of like friend type questions, just to make sure that they're okay, because we're all navigating. So you're focusing on making new contacts, growing your contact list. You're taking care of your current customers and your current VIPs. You're having a presence on social media. That's number 4. Like I said, you don't have to be all the places doing all the things. Like, you don't need to suddenly like get on TikTok and learn all the dances and make a YouTube channel and then be on Instagram and then do the Facebook things. Like, pick 2, do not freak yourself out. And again, like, progress over perfection. Like, if you're never posting now, start posting. Just do a little bit more, do a little bit every day. And people, I'm telling you, they like real people. They don't want perfect. You don't have to spend hours editing photos and photoshopping graphics. You don't have to do that. You just have to be yourself and share what you love about this business, what you love about these products, and then other things that you love as well. So I tell people to focus on 5 areas. If your business is going to be one, do not talk about your business all the time. Like, 20% of what you talk about should be your business. So it could be travel, it could be cooking, it could be fashion, that I talk about shopping and fashion all the time. It could be parenting, it could be whatever your passions are. That's what's going to connect you to people. And they might follow you because you're doing awesome book reviews and they want to be in your virtual book club. And then they find out that you also are with Monty and, oh yeah, I really need some dry shampoo. So don't be afraid to take the time to create content about other things too. It doesn't have to be like money, 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 as long as it's part of what you're doing. The next one is events, which we're not doing in-person events right now, but I would strongly encourage you to host virtual events. I believe that Zoom got rid of the time requirement on the free version because of everything that's going on. So if you want to utilize Zoom, you can get your own account. You can have your own Zoom meetings. You can do an event in Facebook. You can do an event in a Facebook group. But think about ways to connect with people virtually. I'm telling you, people are looking for things to do. We had a virtual happy on Wednesday. Me and my daughter business, but actually, and the last one is personal development, which is what Stacy talked about, and it's so important. Like, if your head is not in the right place, you're not going to be able to get any headway in this business, because if your mindset is off, or if you're not filling up your cup and you're not pouring good stuff into here, the first time you get hit with negativity, or the first time there's a hiccup, that's when you end up stepping back and taking your foot off the gas and letting somebody else derail you from where you need to go. And I think right now, like, I had you know, I get yelled at a lot. So I've been yelled at for walking outside. I was told I was irresponsible and I shouldn't be going for walks because I should just be in my home. But there were no other people around, right? I also had a lovely person tell me that I shouldn't be able to still have a business with everything going on. And I was like, no, I'm lucky that I still have a business with everything going on. And that should be all of our attitudes. So be so secure in what you're doing and who you are that when people come at you and try to tear you down, because it's going to happen. Like, and I'm not saying that to psych you out. I'm doing that to psych you up and let you know that there's going to be internet trolls. There's going to be people who comment something nasty on your post, like, I heard it made your hair fall out. Well, thanks, Karen. Nobody asked you. But when you know who you are and what you stand for and who this company is and what these products can do, none of that like chatter and nonsense is going to have an impact on you. You'll delete, you'll block, and you'll move on, and you won't give it a second thought. So that's why personal development is so important. And just showing up every day, even if you look a mess on your story. I'm going to tell you one more little story, and then I will pass this on because I will talk forever. But the first week we were all locked in our houses, I didn't do my hair or makeup or get dressed at all. Like, hot mess, but I'm still showing up on my stories, right? Last week, I got ready. I started putting makeup on again and doing my things back in my routine. The amount of messages that I received, but it's because they saw me without makeup for a full week, so they got to experience how powerful that foundation really is and how well it works, because they saw homegirl without it and they were like, I need some of that because I saw what she looks like without it. So don't be afraid to show up imperfect. Just show up every day and don't lose sight of your goals and your business and why you are doing this, and you will be just fine. I'm done now. I don't know who's next.
I'm trying to. I was trying to.
Was I supposed to pass it?
Amy and Tim. Thanks, Jen. That was amazing.
Hi. Okay, we are here. So I think Tim taped all the kids down to the floors upstairs so they wouldn't move, so he could come be here. So we're here. So Aaron, can you guys hear me? Okay, so Aaron asked us to share our story, and through my story, I wanted to share a little bit of motivation, some little tips, and then Tim's gonna share a couple things as well. So he just had two things he said, just two. But I'm gonna start, for those of you, a lot of you on here do know me, but some of you on here don't. So I'll start with saying, who is this girl talking? Okay. So my name is Amy Murphy, and I'm a senior executive director with Monat, and I've been in the company since September 2015. Now, before Monat, I was actually in about 10 different companies over the course of 17 years. And I like to say that I successfully failed at all of those companies. I was a chronic network marketer, and I never made like any kind of money at any of those companies ever. And so fast forward to September 2015, we were unexpectedly pregnant with our third child, Eva. And we had just began the discussion about what we're going to do with this third child, because we weren't financially prepared for this third child. And so we were having discussions on how we were going to save our money and budget a little bit better. And one of the ideas came up was, Tim was like, he suggested, why don't you stop doing those network marketing things? Because nobody makes money at them. You keep spending more than you make. We could actually save lots of money if you just stopped. And so I agreed. I said, you know what? Okay, I will stop. I'll just be a customer for my friends. I'll continue. The kids are getting ready. I'll continue. At the time I was doing nails. I am a nail technician and I'm also a licensed makeup artist, and I went to hair school. So I've been in the beauty industry for 16 years. And at the time I was doing nails out of my home, shellacking everybody's nails, doing some nail art, yada, yada. And then I had to go on bed rest really shortly after because I was getting high blood pressure with my pregnancy. And along with the bed rest and the high blood pressure, I was getting some symptoms from my other pregnancies. I was getting some fallout from postpartum hair loss, and it wasn't coming back. It was getting very receded, very thin. My hair was not cooperating, plus age. You know, I'm 40, well, I'll be 41 next month. But, you know, age was a factor as well. And so my hair just wasn't behaving the way I liked it, very thin and gross. So I was actually in the market looking for something for my hair. And being in the beauty industry, I tried everything. I had access to everything and nothing was working. So I was open to trying a sample. I saw on Facebook, this girl was posting, you know, about the stuff. So I said, can I try your product? I really need something. So I decided to try a sample. I liked it just from the oil. I put the oil in my hair and I didn't even shampoo my hair. I tried the oil and I said, this seems different to me. And what my research showed me, I really wanted to give it a try. My dilemma was, it was a network marketing company. And I just promised my husband I wasn't going to do these again. So I had a choice to make. So I decided to not tell him. And I signed up as a distributor, as a market partner, because it was the best price. And if I happen to make a little bit of money, you know, then I could, my idea, literally my mindset when I pressed submit was, I'm not going to tell Tim right away because he's going to get really mad at me. But I know that if I happen to sell some to my friends, like even to my mom or my sister-in-law, like I could make a little bit of money back and it would end up being free for me. Like the discount was huge. I could make it back and it would be free. That was my mindset. That's all I was worried about. And then a month came where I had to tell him what I had done because he'd see the bill. So in order to kind of prep him for the bill, I kind of said, you know, check out the Visa bill. Like I bought some shampoo, but don't worry, you know, I decided to be a distributor, you know, like I'm probably going to make a little bit, you know, to pay it back. And this is when he got really mad. Do you want to say something?
No.
He got really mad at me because he just looked at me and he went, nah. He was like, I can't believe you're doing this. I said, what? Like, I'm just going to sell a little bit, make it free for me, best price. I want to try these products. So this is how I'm going to do it. And he goes, I see the writing on the wall. I see where you're going with this. We've been down this road before. We can't afford you to do this business. Like, you can't do this again. And I looked at him and I said, well, I think I could make a little bit and pay it back. Like, there's no harm in that. And he was like, you know what? Don't talk to me about the shampoo business. No one's going to believe you. You sold everything under the sun. Good luck with that. Good luck with selling some shampoo. And he walked up those stairs. And it's funny because when I signed up, I honestly just wanted the discount and to pay my money back. That's all I was looking for. And because he challenged me, now this guy, we've been together since 1995. That's how long we've been together. And he supported me in everything I've done, every single thing that I've done. He's always supported me. And this one time, he doesn't support my decision. Well, I came back with, this is what I said to him. I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to actually make it in this company. I said, if I don't make it, I will promise you I'll never do another one again. And so I made a decision that day. And so long story short is that I was, like I said, I had to go on bed rest. When I started my business, I was pretty much on bed rest pretty quickly in the journey. That was in September. And then in January, 4 months later, I gave birth to Eva. And 2 months later, I hit Market Mentor. So 6 months, I became a founder of the company. And then fast forward to a year and a half, I was the first person in all of Canada to hit the top of the company. And then fast forward 2.5 years, I made $1 million. So I got honored into the $1 Million Club in 2.5 years. So let's rewind here. This is where some motivation comes in. So let's rewind back to that conversation that Tim and I had. When he told me, no one's going to believe you. Why are you doing this? Why bother? Yeah, I could have said, you know what? Why bother? Yeah, you're right. No one's going to believe me. Why bother trying something new? Why bother taking that chance? I could have listened to him that day and my life would be completely different. For one, he does support me now. He's wearing the t-shirt and he does support me. But seriously, if I had have listened to him and let him dictate my journey, it would be a completely different journey. So here's the learning lesson from that, is that why a lot of people ask me, why was it different this time around? Why did you succeed this time from all the other times? All those other companies you tried, why is it different? Well, it's because this time I made a decision. I never decided those other times to really work the businesses. When I would join those other companies, I would join because I was like, okay, I might sell something, and if I didn't, I would quit. I never decided anything. All I decided was that I might try and sell something, and I didn't really decide. And you know what? Even when I did sign up with Monat, it was the same. I did the same thing. That wasn't the fact that I pressed submit did not mean I decided in that moment. I didn't decide. I made a decision to press submit, but I decided to build my business the day when I said to Tim, I will make it in this company or I'll never do another one again. That was the day I decided. So you have to ask yourself, have you decided yet? Like, have you really decided? Did you decide? You pressed submit and you decided? Or did you decide? Today's the day I'm doing this. I'm all in. Because I was all in. Anyone that watched my journey, I built my business in my bathrobe, looking like a hot mess, 24/7. Baby on my boob. I think all of Facebook saw my boob at some point, and like hair up to here. Like, I had a mission. And why Jenny did. So what comes with that decision was commitment. I made a decision that day, but with that decision came commitment. I was committed to that decision. So you have to decide, then you have to commit, you have to make that decision to commit as well. Because you can decide all you want, but then tomorrow you could also undecide what you decided. So you got to make a decision, you got to commit. No matter what, like what all the other girls said, that consistency was key. That's commitment. Consistency is commitment. I was very consistent and I was very committed. Every single day I showed up, whether I look like garbage or not, I showed up because I knew I had a message to share. One, I had to prove my husband wrong, so I had something to do. But I also knew that every single day, if I did something for my business every single day, there was no way I was not going to succeed. There's no way. No way. If I did even one little thing to move the needle every single day, that's growth. So I knew I had to do something every single day. So I like to say, write down these 3 words: decide, commit, succeed. All right? So you got to decide, you got to make a commitment to that decision, and then you'll find success. And then the other thing I like to say about my journey is that you also need to dream. Okay? Because once I actually made that decision and I started working the business and I actually learned what I was doing, it allowed me to dream. Because Tim and I our dreams, we would dream little dreams, but like we never truly believed that we would even get the dream that we wanted. We'd be like, oh, maybe one day this will happen. But you dream it, not really truly thinking that it's going to happen. You just kind of dream it and talk about it. But see, I actually started to dream. And with that dream, I actually started believing I could do it. Because I believed so hard. I was like, my decision was so definite of what I was going to do. And my commitment and consistency was so there. And so when I started dreaming and envisioning what I wanted, there was no way anybody could shake me. No one could make me believe otherwise. No one could shake me. I knew I was going to get whatever it is that I wanted to do if I was deciding and I was committed and I dreamt it. I knew I believed it. I knew I was going to achieve it. So with that comes dream, believe, achieve. Those are the other 3 words. So decide, commit, succeed, dream, believe, achieve. If you dream it, because you can dream anything you want. You know that anybody out there in this whole entire world that invented anything, it all came from an idea. Not one person in this whole entire world is more worthy of any other idea than anybody else. So the only difference is that people make a decision to do something about it, and they're consistent with that decision, and they believe in their dreams. They believe that they can get it. So if you dream something and you have an idea and you dream about it and you think you can do it and you truly believe that you're worthy and that you can do it and your actions all align with that and your decision all aligns with that, there's no way in heck you won't achieve it. Boom. Boom, mic drop. So there we go. So decide, could, succeed, dream, believe, achieve. And I like to kind of, I like to use my story as all of that, because I applied all of that with my story. And then I found the success. So now Tim wants to throw a little something in there, because I know I dog on him at first because it is truly part of our story that he didn't believe, but there was a time when he started to believe, and he'll share his side, starting from maybe when, he started seeing results and when he decided to jump in, and give some tips maybe about, how to help, how the men can kind of help. So take it away, Timmy.
You could just look right there.
I could be right there. He doesn't like to be close up. There you go. Okay, I'll actually be right there. Okay. There you go.
Okay, so that was a little rough or a hard act to follow. From now on, I go first, you go second. She used up a bunch of time, so I'll try to make mine brief. I'm not going to go through my evolution of support. That'll come at a later date, but for now, I just wanted to give you a couple of things that come to mind after being in this for 4 years at different levels. Right now, I want just the men. If there's any men watching this that doesn't already have a partner who's in Monat, and you're looking at this as an opportunity, jump on. Just jump on. And why do I say that with such confidence? Is because we are severely underrepresented. What's the word? Unrepresented?
Underrepresented? I don't know.
You know what I'm saying. In Monat, we do have men products, but all the products are unisex, especially the skincare. And we're leaving money on the table. We're leaving all this money to the women. This can't happen. You got to jump in. And I'll tell you a reason why. Before Monat, just give you a quick rundown. I invested in my own company. I wanted to start up. I didn't even know if there was a product. I didn't have marketing. I didn't even know if I even had a market. It's a garbage cleaning business. But anyway, it cost me $12,000 with the investment with my buddy. I just jumped into it because I thought it might be a good idea. Then there's another company I invested in. It's a software company. Boom, 10 grand, 20 grand, and 30 grand. I had no idea if it was even going to take off. Amy comes home and says, hey, I want to spend $388 on shampoo, and I lost my mind. I mean, think about that. Put it in perspective. I invested over $50,000 on a whim, thinking that an idea might take off. And here it is, Monat, they have the product. It's science, tested, proven, clinical trials, and they do the marketing. They even do the delivering. They even had the market, the studies. All we had to do is get it out there. We're responsible for the marketing, per se. So just put it in perspective. And plus, that 388 she invested in was product. That's all they ask you. So when you jump into this opportunity, they're not asking you to fork over money for the privilege of joining. They're only asking you to buy inventory for your own business at a steep discount. Okay, I'm gonna drop that there. The second thing I wanted to bring up briefly was support. I have husbands come up to me. I even have wives come up to me and say, how can I make my husband be more supportive? Well, first of all, I ran into all different sides of this. I'm getting so dry, I'm getting a little nervous. But
It's fine.
oh man, just one sec.
He wants to go grab some water. Give him some love, you guys. He gets nervous. No, it dropped. He just grabbed water.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so the second thing was, if you have a partner who's in Monat, there's different levels of support. But first of all, and I've learned this from talking to different women, find out if your partner even wants you involved, simply put. Because not all of them do. Some of the women want this business for themselves. But in my experience, there's more women who would like their partner to get involved. And a way to do that is share what you're doing with your partner, because your husband can't support you if he doesn't know what you're doing. Now for me, that meant Amy really wanted to hit Market Mentor because at the time it was about founder shares, and she showed me her back office. And at the time they had the little blue lights that lit up as you achieved your ranks. And guys are very visual. So I looked at it, it was like a video game. Oh, you had to get all the dots in there and then you get your next level and you get your next rank. That's what guys generally, they're visual guys. Guys are visual. That's just what it is. I don't want to explain that. We just are. So, anywho, so and the thing I want to say about involvement is my level of involvement has progressed from being against her for the first 3 months.
3? It was way more than that. It was like 6.
Easy. You had your time to talk. So, and then to the point where we consider ourselves equal partners in the business. Now, mind you, she's 100% on the forefront. She's run the business. But as anyone knows who's working at our level, it's a team effort. You have the fun in the front line, you got the people in the back line. It's just like a kitchen. You got the frontline servers, the back house. You need it all to make the thing work, because this might be a business, but you might also have kids, you might have pets, you might have dinners, you might have schooling, you know, it goes on and on. Investments, accounting goes on forever. So I'm just saying, so you got to find out what level of involvement your wife wants you in. It could be simple as maybe she just wants your support. She just wants you to go against her. Maybe she just wants you to accept what she's doing.
You want her to go against her?
No.
You just said you want her to go against her.
No, I didn't mean that. That's what I said.
I don't think you meant that.
She just may want you to be for her,
Okay.
to accept
There you go.
what you're doing
Okay.
and not actually contribute.
Right.
Maybe she wants you to do monthly reports. Maybe she wants you to do the bank. Maybe she wants you to do the mailouts. Maybe all she needs you to do is do the dishes after supper so she can get on her Zoom and you can put the kids to bed. Hey,
Amen. Yes. Yes.
I'm not being subservient here.
No,
There
but
are
it's
kids
true.
too. There are kids too. We got to take care of them. But I mean, it was a role reversal that took me time to get used to. I'm gonna cut this off because I know we're going a little long here. But it was hard for me to get used to because I was a breadwinner, and my sole purpose, the only thing I was responsible for doing was going to work. And then when I came home, I left my work there, and I came home, and society didn't expect anything more from me. That was it. That was my job. I do a little more now. My job doesn't start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and my job doesn't end at 5 o'clock at night. But anyway, so when it comes to level of support, first thing you got to find out if your wife wants you on board. And second, the best thing you can do, and I do this with Amy every morning, I say, every day I wake up, well, I brush my teeth first and I have my cereal, but then I say, Amy, what can I do for you today?
Every day he asks me every day, what do you need me to do today? Whether it's mailouts or this or that. Every day is different, but he asks me every day, what do you need from me? Which is great.
And that's it. I'll get off my soapbox. Done.
Thank you.
You guys did great. Thanks so much. Yeah, we're a little tighter on time, so I loved everything. You guys are so funny, and Tim is a great social media person as well, as far as I see. So he's definitely helping out quite a bit. Sarah, you want to take the lead?
I'm here. Can you
Okay,
guys hear
great.
me? Yes. Okay, wow. So I have to follow that. They are amazing and hilarious, huh? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I had all my notes wrote down. I feel like I totally lost focus, so bear with me. But here we go. First and foremost, I want to thank Aaron for putting this together. He has been, I don't know about y'all, but he has been such an inspiration to me, and I'm writing her myself now. Well, so just thank you, because you have been inspiring me all week long, just jumping in and doing all the things, and we're so proud to have you. So thank you. For those of you, I do see a few people that I recognize, but for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sarah Bess McCoy. I live in a little itty bitty town outside of Lane, Oklahoma, on a ranch with my husband Cord and my daughter Tulsa. How I got introduced to the products, I went to a new hairstylist and I sat in her chair, she did my hair, and she used the products on me. And I remember when I got up to leave to pay, my hair felt different. Instantly, I knew that. My hair felt amazing. My hair was in terrible shape. You guys have got to go check out my before and after. But I got to pay and I was like, I want whatever you just used on me, because those products are amazing. Sorry, I got totally sidetracked there because I am catching the clouds in the background. Just ignore the clouds in the background. I'm hiding up in a bedroom upstairs because it's the only quiet place in the room. But anyways, I got up to pay and I was like, wow, I need all those products. They're amazing. Like where are they at? And I could not see them. There was no shelves in sight, right? That's incredible for those hairstylists. And she kind of kept him-hawing around like, well, you know, you can get online and get my link and that sort of thing. And it didn't take me long to realize that this was a network marketing company. But I was like, you know, can I just buy them retail? Like, can't you just get them for me and then I can pick them up later, you know? Because I'm like, I've been there, done that. You know, I said, no, absolute way am I doing any of that network marketing thing. And she mentioned to me, she goes, well, you know, Sarah, you should just probably really take a little closer look into the business. And we still laugh about it because if I said no once, I said no like 10 times. And anyways, sorry, I have to follow my notes just a little bit because I get so sidetracked. I have all this good stuff that I want to share with you guys. But anyways, okay, so then I went home and the next day my hair felt even better. And I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. And I could not stop thinking about the opportunity. I knew these products were different and I knew of so many people. I just kept thinking of all these people that could benefit from them. And I just knew I could not pass up this opportunity. And just like what they were saying was, you know, to spend what, $199, $399, like I knew I'd spent money like that before and it had gone to waste. And I knew at least I was going to get amazing products at a great discount. So I jumped in, I signed up and I said, you know what, I'm doing this. We were struggling financially. I was on I think it was our 7th year of dealing with infertility. And we couldn't make our insurance payments. And I knew I was going to have to, I wanted to start a family. That was like my main goal. I just wanted to be a mom so incredibly bad. And I was just facing lots of obstacles, much like many of you guys. And anyways, I just, like Amy said, I decided right then and there before I'd done other network marketing companies, and I never made that decision. And I was at the point in my life where I was like, you know what, I'm doing this. I'm diving in, I'm going to work, I'm going to figure it out. And as you guys know, when you start, you get so overwhelmed because there's all this stuff. And that's what I encourage you to do is just start. It's going to be messy. You're not going to know what you're doing, but start. So if you're kind of new in the business, I just encourage you to just start. Just jump in and just get busy. So anyways, then I started sharing the opportunity with everybody else. And my business just continued to grow. And I was like, wow. And I remember having this aha moment when I was at Easter at my parents' house. I have 5 sisters. And none of my sisters really knew because I was scared to tell them because they're like, oh, Sarah, here we go, joining another network marketing company, you know? So I was a little bit shy about it at first, but I knew they needed these products. And then to continue on my aha moment, I remember getting the little email, you know, that says, you know, your paycheck and how much it is. And I was thinking, oh, you know, maybe it'll be like a couple $100 or something like that. And I remember seeing the amount and I was thinking, oh my gosh, like I literally almost fainted. And my sister's like, Sarah, what is wrong with you? And I was just like, I want to run through the house screaming. And what hit me then was my sister finally got the number out of me. And she said, you know what? You just made more than I made. And I've been teaching first graders all month long. I have my master's. And to add to it, I can remember her breaking down in tears because she had to send her twin daughters to daycare. And you know how maternity leave, it just is never long enough, right? Anyways, and that's when I was just like, wow, I'm all in, I'm doing this, and I'm going to learn all the things and just dive in and go to work. And then, gosh, my hair is still continuing to improve. Like 3 years in, I'm just like, wow, like this is just insane. Okay. So 6 months after joining, I do want to share some happy news. I found out that I was pregnant. And for the past year and a half, I've worked my business with my daughter on my lap. And right now I'm like having a little bit of anxiety because I've been away from her. When I do the other team calls, she's usually like tearing papers apart and knocking over the phone and whatnot. But I did tell Cord, I was like, can you just give me a little bit of time? He's super supportive of my business and I appreciate that. So moving on. Okay, so with all that being said, when I jumped in, I went to work, I was climbing rank advancements, earned my car. You know, I could go on and on about all the perks, as you guys know, of running with your business. But this is what I wanted to share. And this is what I want to talk a little bit about is mindset, okay? Because do I have challenging days? Do all those other great leaders that spoke before me, do they have challenging days? Yes, everyone in this business has challenging days. And they can all agree that. And that brings up the topic on mindset, okay? And I think this is a crucial part of the business. If you haven't realized yet, this business is full of highs and lows. I always tell my team, I'm like, you know, it's like a roller coaster ride, right? Like the highs can get, sorry, people are calling me. I'm still here. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So, you know, when you're on a high, like you don't want to get too high, and when you're low, you don't want to get too low. I always try to remind my team just to stay very level. But with that, your mindset can get high, you can get low, you can get really ambitious, and you can get really down, you know, when your friend doesn't respond to the products or the business opportunity like you had hoped. Sorry, I got to follow my notes. So, and that's what I want to share with you guys is to find good in the struggle, okay? Because if you are struggling, that means you are putting yourself out there, you are pushing yourself, and there's so much good that comes from that. And that's what I was just sharing with a teammate of mine is if you're not struggling, you're not pushing yourself out of that comfort zone. And that's what everybody always encourages us to do is push ourselves out of that comfort zone, because otherwise we're going to be in the exact same position we are right now a year from now. If you're not pushing yourself out of that comfort zone, and that's where you're going to struggle, okay? So you got to like rejoice almost. It sounds crazy, but you want to rejoice when you're struggling. I always like try to think of that. Like, what did I learn? How did I become better? Those sort of things. Okay, again, so that means pushing yourself, getting better, and becoming more, and that's what happens when we struggle. So again, just, you might want to write that down. Find good in the struggle. Find good in the struggle, okay? And then focus on what you learned in the meantime. Sorry, you guys, I'm like a little scattered. They were cracking me up. Oh my gosh, Tim's a hoot. Okay, so, and that's what, when we get down on ourselves and we are struggling, that's when the negative mindset starts to sink in. And when you have a negative mindset, that's when you feel like you're not worthy, when you feel like you're not like those other girls, when you're pointing blame on your business, maybe not flourishing, you know, you'll start playing victim to your circumstances and you'll start making excuses. That's what happens when we get a negative mindset, right? It happens to me all the time. But you have to recognize when you start going down that dip, you have to start focusing on the good, like what is going right. Focus on the things that you can control. So with that, I want to share, I wrote down 5 different things that this is what kind of works for me, and it's how I keep a positive mindset. Aside from seeing the good in all things, where hopefully you did write that down, I want to start with number 1, and that is focusing on gratitude and self-development, okay? When we are focused on the things that, like every morning I try to think of something that I'm thankful for. You know, you chances are likely you don't have to look very far to find something to be grateful for, and grateful for even just this opportunity, right? But then to focus on a way that you can give back. Our gratitude program is just amazing, right? But it also just reminds me daily to, it can be something as little as just checking in on a friend and just saying, you know, how are you? And, you know, that is like, sometimes that can be so comforting to somebody else, but it makes you feel good at the same time, and it brings positivity to your life when you're helping somebody else, okay? So number 1, focus on gratitude and self-development. Number 2, staying in your own lane. I preach this to my team over and over and over again, okay? Comparison is the thief of joy. Remember that. Stay in your lane. When you start looking at what everybody else is doing, what all those successful girls are doing, it's okay to do that from time to time, but use that to fuel your own fire. Like otherwise you're going to sit there and you're going to be staring at everybody else, and you know what? They're going to fly right by you. You are worthy of all the success this opportunity has to offer. Never forget that. Third, this is the other thing that I like to do when I'm feeling down in the slump. Show up just like you're doing right now today. Cling to the go-getters in this company. Cling to the go-getters in your life. You know, there's people out there that are always hustling, always positive. You want to be very, very cautious about who you surround yourself with. And then like-minded people, right? Like people that are on this call. I'm sure you probably know somebody else that's on this call with you. Cling to them, cling to that energy. You want to be very, very cautious about who you surround yourself with. Remember that, and continue to show up. Okay, and then number 4, okay, this is action. To back up, I want to remind you, when I think of action, I also think of reminding my mind that I have a gift, okay? When I'm feeling lazy, like I have to think, I have got to do action, and I have a gift that's worthy of being shared with the world. Like you've got to remind that, and you've got to like put that on your heart, because then you're never being salesy. You're never being that awkward girl that's like trying to get somebody to join your company, or trying to get somebody, you know, to do all the things, you know, like people know when you're being like not genuine and real and authentic. So I just always try to remind myself, like, I have a gift. Like, we can't find success. We cannot find success in this company. And I love this. We can't find it without helping others. So continue to remind yourself that you have a gift in action, 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 you know, going live, showing up on Instagram, doing a tutorial, doing all the things that, again, make us uncomfortable. That's when we're going to grow, and that's when we're going to find more success. Okay. And then number 5 is having a really, really strong why, especially in moments like this, you know, where there's lots of negativity in the world, you know, and going back, sometimes that means going back to the drawing board. When you're feeling like you're getting consumed with negativity, go back to that drawing board and really, really, really dig deep. And I know Tony B, I remember her telling me this, and I just like, it's like, just stuck with me, because it's like your why really has to pull on your heartstrings. It has to make you almost want to cry, right? Like, you have to have such a strong why. And I'm constantly going back to my business. I mean, looking back and going back to my why and reevaluating things, and like, why am I doing this? What do I want from this? How can I help people? How can I better serve? How can I make an impact? So your why has to be so incredibly strong, because that's what's going to push you through on those days when you don't feel like showing up, when you don't feel like doing the work, when you don't feel like, you know, doing all the things that you guys know that we have to do in order to be successful. So that's all I kind of have for you. To end, I just want to remind you to believe in yourself, and you are worthy. You are worthy. Never forget that. I think there's just so much, good that can come from applying ourselves and becoming the very, very best version of ourselves. And I think this business can bring all of that out. So just continue to believe in yourself, and remember that you are worthy and you are enough. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Sarah. So I just want to say hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in here and helping me and my dad do our first ever Zoom opportunity call as well as training call. We're kind of doing a dual thing for everybody. And I will introduce myself really quickly. My name is Brittany Cleveland. I have officially been signed up as an NP for 5 years when we first started. I was introduced by my mom, Roxy Henley, and I kind of just did it because she asked me to. I wasn't interested at all. And when I did that, basically I was still working my job. I wasn't at a point where I wanted to learn, where I wanted to make extra money or anything like that. I basically was like, here's the product, use it, like it, buy it if you want. If not, I don't care. Okay, so I did that. And this was 2 years ago where I had my moment where my mom was like, Brittany, just go ahead and quit your job. Okay, this is when I was making $500 a month, not even knowing anything about the product or the business. Okay, this is just people that liked the shampoo and bought it, right? And she said, Brittany, just go all in. Let's quit your job and see if you could really make this happen. Okay. And I finally took her up on it. And in 1 year to that day, so December of 2018, I quit my job. December of 2019, I was at the dealership picking out my Cadillac, whatever Cadillac I wanted. And it was amazing because it happened exactly 1 year. And now I'm making more than I was making at my job. And she's like, Brittany, if it doesn't work, you could go get another you could go get another job, you know, like, so I always, you know, so my mom, she believed in me before I believed in myself. And it's always great to have someone like that. And basically what I'm training on today is overcoming obstacles in the business. Because as we know, there's people who are, you know, it's a crazy time right now, right? So people have different, basically they're telling you no for a different reason right now, right? So I have someone that's going to join me here, and we're going to do a little skit.
Okay, I've got a little bit of trouble here, Brittany, with my hair, and I totally want to try this product, and I've heard a lot about it. But with the times that are going on right now, hang on. Okay, the times that are going on right now, I don't want to spend any money.
Okay, so when I get this question or get this objection, this is what I say. This is how I've been addressing it right now because of the time going on and them not wanting to spend money right now. I basically empathize with them first, right? Before you say anything that comes out of your mouth, you need to empathize with them, be understanding of the situation, and then you need to educate them, okay? Because if they are just going straight to Google and searching how much money this product is, I could understand why they think it's too pricey, right? But what I do is I say, I understand how you feel that way. However, I do want to let you know and inform you that this product actually could last you, 3 to 4, maybe 5 months, depending on how often you wash. And you get 4 products for US price $110 out the door with VIP. So I kind of educate them. They say, oh, it lasts that long and you get that many products. And so after I do that, I get them thinking about it. And then that's how I kind of overcome that obstacle with that question. So if anyone wants to write that down, they could do that.
All right, I'm gonna go off topic here and just throw
Okay.
you for a loop, because I know you had this one. But I think I want to know more about your being a hairstylist. If you're not a hairstylist enough for me, I'm not gonna work with you.
Okay, so I am a hairstylist, licensed hairstylist, and esthetician, dual license. But I do not lead my conversations that way because you do not have to be that to do this business. However, recently, I've had someone say that to me, and actually she's on this call because she actually signed up last week to become a market partner. But she had asked me, Brittany, take a picture of your license. I want to see it. I take my license very seriously, but and all that. So she was very detailed and animated with it. So I was like, look, I'm in my office at my mom's house. I don't have a picture of my license, but I basically changed the conversation to you don't need a license to do this. And then, should I tell them what I did?
Sure, yeah, I think.
I mean,
It's very funny.
I'm in my mom's, or the spare office here, and on the wall up here, we have my mom's checks.
You can't see it.
Oh, can't really see them, but there's a $10,000 big check on the wall up there, and a $20,000 big check on the wall up there. So I took a picture of that and said, "This is what you need to be asking me. This is what you need to be concerned about. You don't need to be concerned about if I have a license or not, because you don't need one to do one." And in fact, people, I've had someone that's on this call as well, Kimberly Gomez. She hit the middle of our comp plan in 60 days, and she is a manager at Walmart. She doesn't do her hair. I mean, she does sometimes, but she's not a girly girl. So you don't have to have a certain look or a certain license to do this business.
Thank you. And then one more you had me. I just make enough money not to pay any taxes. And I think this business would put me over.
Okay, so this is a 3-way call my brother put me on today. My brother Jake, and the lady said, look, I've done other direct sales. I'm very familiar how direct sales go. And, she said all this stuff. And the last thing she said, okay, Brittany, you addressed every question I've had. Very good. But the last thing I'm concerned about is I make too much money, or I make just enough money to where I don't owe taxes at the end of the year. So what I told her was, great, I could address that as well. This business is, you could write it off. So I told her that, I told her all the write-offs she could do. And basically at the end, it's actually going to help her benefit even more. So that was the last rebuttal, the last rebuttal I had for you guys, because I know we're over on time. But thank you so much for joining. And I do want to close out the call with a very, very, very important little saying or quotes. And this whole Zoom call, opportunity call, and training call, I want to dedicate to my mom, Roxy Henley, because if she didn't start this business 5 years ago, me and my dad wouldn't be here, and a lot of you guys wouldn't be here because a lot of you guys are on her team as well. So I need to dedicate that for her. For those that don't know, she did pass recently. And this was left on her Post-it note on the side of her desk. So if you guys want to write these words down, they're very important, not just for business, but for your everyday life. This is how we could inspire and impact others, like I said, with the business or not. So here it goes. Shaking, sorry. Read daily. Who do I want to be? How do I get there? How can I make the most impact on others' lives? And how do I want to be remembered? If you live your day, the rest of your life with these questions right here, then you will have an amazing life, and you will be remembered the way you would like to be remembered. So I love you, Mom. I love you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Aaron, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I think everybody did great. I loved all the support we had. I don't know who that was in your office there, but they were great. And everybody, I'll record. This has been recording. I'll put it up for everybody to watch again, and everybody who's not there. Thanks so much for helping and support us, and do great in your lives. Bye.